Welcome back to some new r/petty revenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Parking Space. Me and my girlfriend started renting an apartment in August. My girlfriend had a few weeks left of her job a city over, and due to that, my girlfriend needed a car. Since she worked late evenings, it would be almost impossible for her to find a parking space close to our apartment at 9 p.m. since all parking spaces would be filled at around 4:30 p.m. So we both decided to pay $90 per month for the parking garage under our apartment. After a few weeks, my girlfriend started working closer to our home, and the need for a car disappeared. The lease wasn't up on the parking space, so we decided to use it as a reserved parking space in case friends or family came over. Since the parking space is usually empty, people started parking in our space. We usually call parking security and they put a fine on the car. This time I choose to be nice. A blacked out BMW was parked in our space and I found out who owned it. I called them with the intention of asking them to move the car politely. The owner of the car was a 30-year-old man. I rang him up and he picked up the phone. Silence. He was silent for a solid 5 seconds before I hesitantly said, "Hello?" He responded, "Who is this? From what company?" in an annoyed voice. "Oh, I'm not from a company. I just live in the same apartment complex as you and was wonder..." He cursed me out and then he hung up the phone. So I called parking security, and 10 minutes later there was a $80 fine on his car. I tried calling him again to tell him that there was a fine on his car and that a tow truck would be there to pick it up later that evening if he didn't move the car from our spot. But when I called him up, I got a very warm and pleasant response pile of curses thrown my way, and he again just hung up on me. Later that evening, I saw a nice blacked out BMW on the back of a towing truck. The next story is called Answering the Phone. I've worked in an office for almost 2 years now. I have a teammate with the same job title, but with a slightly different role. Let's refer to her as Lola. We essentially work together as a team, working on our separate tasks to complete shared projects. I answered a phone call at my desk a couple of months ago. That was for her, and went to verify the information to transfer the call to her. This is something the receptionist normally did, so I wasn't sure what her specific extension was. "You have a phone call. What is your extension?" "It's for me? That's weird." "Why is that weird?" "It's usually for you, so I don't answer it." "What are you talking about?" "When someone calls either of us, both our phones ring. It's usually not for me, so I don't answer it." "It's normally not for me either. I just take a message or get the call to the right person, as I'm trying to do right now." Lola doesn't really have anything to say about that. I get her extension and then transfer the call to her. Back in my office, I'm kind of steaming. For almost 2 years, I have been taking every call and message when the receptionist is away. My teammate had been simply ignoring the phone that entire time, leaving all the effort to me. I looked at my phone and thought, I wish I could just unplug it. Then it occurred to me that the cord extended from a port on the floor and connected under my phone. The phone essentially sits on top of the cord, with a gap space under the phone to accommodate the cord. So I unplugged my phone and placed it on top of the cord, so it simply looks as though it's plugged in. I have no idea who is answering the phone now, when the receptionist is away from her desk, but I guarantee I won't plug in that phone again, unless someone figures it out, and then I simply play dumb. It's a small anarchy, but I'll take it. The third story is called Buyers Beware. I rented a property about 4 years ago, for 1 year. The landlady was a nightmare. She never fixed anything, left her car on the drive, etc. One thing she didn't sort out was the door entry system. Basically, the group of 5 properties share a common entry gate. The 5 homeowners never paid the installers. So unsurprisingly, the installers are a little bit unhappy. I moved in, find the manufacturers, it's written on the gate, find the installers, tell them that I have nothing to do with the owners, just a tenant who wants to let deliveries and family in. They informed me that the installation bill hadn't been paid, and they won't change the contact number to my phone. This system rings your mobile phone. It's not a fixed hardware line to a handset in the house. I plead my case. I'm just a tenant, etc. After a few weeks of ringing them every day and being super polite, they find pity, as I am not involved in the outstanding bill. We land and change the system. 3 years after I moved out, I'm still connected to the entry system for the old place I rented. When someone rings, if it's anybody, I let them in, apart from deliveries to the landlady. I know her name. If it's a potential new tenant, they only stay for 1 year, as she's a nightmare. I now tell them what a bad landlady she is, buyer beware, and then let them in. The last story is called Should Have Answered. I do office work and have recently conducted several audits to get our files prepared for the new year. I realized a lot of employees were missing many items in their files. This was not anyone's fault, because the company never had proper admin employees, so I was hired specifically to clean up files and ensure state and federal compliance. This employee, we'll call him Paul, works remotely and never answers his emails or phone. There was an audit I was working on and realized about 60 employees needed to sign a form. 59 of them signed it within the week, and Paul never answered me. I called and emailed him for about 3 months, until he finally sent it back. It's unfortunate that I have to keep an audit open for this long, because of him. He has done this multiple times though, and also missed 2 mandatory online classes that I conducted. So I had to jump through hoops for him to take the class. He's always the last one to complete anything that I asked of him, and it's quite unfair that I have to spend many hours calling and emailing him, all for a task that takes a lousy 5 seconds for him to complete. Anyway, we are ordering new shirts for the whole company, because they met the sales goals. It's just a gift, and we understand that we cannot make everyone happy. Maybe some don't like the color or fabric, etc. So the owner made it very clear that we will send one to every address, and there will be no returns or exchanges for any reason, because it is custom made and quite expensive, and also because it's a gift and not like a company uniform or anything. I spent many hours getting everyone's sizes and entering it into a spreadsheet, but guess who never responded? Although I've never met Paul in person, I've seen a photo, and I would guess he's about 6'3" and around 300 pounds, so guess who ordered him a size extra small. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.